What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here, and we talked about 5 motorcycle modifications that everyone gets but shouldn't. I think we should do one where we talk about 5 motorcycle modifications you should seriously consider. Okay, I'm not telling you to go out and buy these things. I'm saying you should consider them. All right, let's jump into it. If you like this video, make sure you click that like button and subscribe before you head on out and watch another one of mine. Anyways, let's jump into it. Professional suspension. That is huge. You want to get yourself professional suspension. Okay, learn from me. I was a new rider. I got a brand new Harley. I want to do some crazy stuff to it. I decided to get an exhaust, get some handlebars. I decided to get stuff that really changed the look. And suspension, I never really thought about until a little bit later. I decided to do an upgrade to my suspension, and it made a huge difference, and it's something that I wish I did a long time ago, and that's front and rear. So make sure you guys get professional suspension. What do I mean by professional suspension? Well, get a suspension, see if it can be adjusted, and then either get the book that I have popping up right here, or get somebody to actually modify the suspension for your weight, for any type of passengers, and they'll teach you how to change everything up. That is what I would be doing right there with your monies. All right, so your suspension does not just affect how comfy everything is. That's a huge portion, that's a huge thing, but it does affect your handling, your acceleration and deceleration. So what does that mean? Well, you got turning, you got acceleration, you got deceleration. That's all part of your traction pie chart. So it's actually helping out your traction. So think about it. If you have really bad suspension, you hit a bump, and it takes maybe like a half second for the tire to get back to the ground. You lost traction for a half second. I'm exaggerating, but you lost traction for a half second. So if you have a proper suspension, that will rebound quick enough and will actually absorb some of these bumps, and you have full traction up and over every single little bump, you have 100% traction. So when you have to accelerate and you hit a bump, it's gonna be less of a danger. Same thing when you're in the middle of a turn. If you hit a bump, it's not gonna remove your tire off the ground in the middle of a turn. It's gonna absorb it. It's going to adjust to it. So it's very good to have your suspension professionally maintained. Like I said, if you do not want it professionally maintained, go ahead and learn about how to maintain your suspension. And a lot of bikes right now, they come with something to where you can actually change out a lot of things, and they're highly adjustable. So take a look at your service manual, or even your owner's manual. It might have an option, and it'll tell you how to adjust everything. Another thing you might want to consider is possibly getting new tires. Now, I talked about not getting race tires right off the bat because that had its own purpose. I'm talking about regular changing out your tires. I got these really nice, sticky, aggressive Dunlop things that are designed for the FTR, super sticky. They're not gonna last very long. They're not designed for commuting like this. I'm commuting in traffic and going straight. They're designed for ripping and a tearing. So what you wanna do is possibly get new tires. So after these ones wear out, I'm gonna get probably a different set of tires. I'm gonna get something that's more suited for what I'm doing. And I've always liked the Michelin Scorcher 2s, but there's a bunch of different tires out there, so you might want to do your research. But when it comes down to it, well, when do I replace the tires? Well, do I have any sidewall punctures? It's crazy. You'd be surprised what kind of stuff can happen to your tires when you're riding. You can get a puncture to the side of the tire. It's a little nutty. But if you do have that, replace your tire. If your tire's older than 10 years, it's gonna have a lot of dry rot. It's gonna have a lot of the moisture and the oils coming out of the tires. So it's not gonna be very good. It's gonna be way too brittle. And then you're gonna start breaking, and you're gonna start getting sidewall damage, which I'm gonna talk about right now is the UV damage. That's kind of part of the 10-year thing. And on top of it, it's when you're riding. So right now, Arizona, southern Arizona, disgustingly hot, high UV index. Wear sunscreen, but it's going to damage the tires. It's actually going to dry rot the tires. You see the tires on the side, just like a full crack all the way around. That right there is not good. That's gonna split. That's gonna blow out to the side while you're riding. Not good if you're in the middle of a turn. Not good if you're just even riding at all. So don't do that. Get your tires replaced if that's what you see. Cut slices, missing tread. Yeah, that should be obvious. If you're missing a massive chunk of tread, hopefully your tire's under warranty, because that should not happen, especially if it's new. But if you're running it super low, like knobbies on the street, and you just got chunks flying off, yeah, you're probably gonna have to get a different tire at that point. Also a cupped tire. I talked about that with race tires and you commuting all the time. It basically just wears out unevenly, and you have like this really bad cup to it. It's all funky, it's all weird, and it's going to affect your handling. It's going to affect how you're turning, how you're riding straight, all these different things. So replace your tire if that is happening. And then get yourself a new tire that fits what you do. Like if you commute and that's why you have a cup tire, get yourself a commuting tire. There's nothing wrong with that. So check up all these things if you buy a used bike. If you buy new, it should have new tires. If you buy it at a dealership, they absolutely should make sure that it is safe to ride on. And, oh, we got a lot of traffic stopping. We got a lot of stuff. What's going on? We got another accident. Dang. Accidents galore today. So if you're buying used, check up on these things. Check for all the damages to the side. Check the age. Check everything, okay? Do not buy a track tire, though. I'm going to tell you that right now. If somebody's selling you a used bike, like, dude, it's got track tires on it. Those things are designed to last like 10 to 12 heat cycles, okay? What does that mean? Well, that means like when they're done racing for like those laps, that's a heat cycle. Those things are super aggressive, super sticky. They'll lose their rubber, they'll lose their tread, they'll lose everything super duper quick. So if somebody's trying to sell you a race tire and try to market it up, be like, nah, brah, I want you to market that down because I got to buy new tires and get them installed. Because it's not good. It's not good. Another thing is that they need to be heated up. They really do need to be heated up before actually riding because that's how they get their grippiness. So they're going to be super duper cold when you first start riding and therefore super duper slippery. Ooh, cardboard. Got to pay attention to all these drivers acting like dum-dums. You got your blinker on, boy. Think about getting yourself some bike protection. That was one of the first things that I tried to get Nikki before she started riding, but she obviously dropped her bike a few times. We got ourselves some new levers, and we got ourselves a new exhaust, but we got some sliders on our bike. We got engine guards on our bike, and that's really good to have. Now, you can take them off later if you want, but honestly, there's some really nice sliders. There's some really nice things out there that really add to the look of the bike, like bunking for Sportsters. Oh, wait, was I supposed to turn? Yeah, I think I'm supposed to turn here. So bunking and stuff like that for Sportsters and Harleys, and then you get, no, I wasn't supposed to turn here. And then you can get other things for different bikes. So like frame sliders, you can get engine guards, you can get radiator guards, you can get bar end sliders, exhaust sliders, axle sliders. You can get any type of slider, and that really helps out when you slide. You crash your bike low side or whatever, it just slides on those things, and then they're replaceable. If you ruin your fairings, you damage your radiator, you damage your engine, we got different problems. You damage your frame, we got way different problems. So make sure you actually get some of these things that way you protect them. I got itty bitty ones right here. I'm gonna get some different ones. I got engine and radiator guards. Motorcycle protection will make you a more confident rider because you know that if something happens in the middle of training, like say slow speed training, you know if you drop your bike is fine. So you're able to push your limits. You're mitigating some of the risk of damaging your bike, okay? It's very important. Really, really important. Another thing that I would get to help maintain your bike is a battery tender or a battery trickle charger. Now, there's many different kinds out there. I have this really cheap one. It's nice. It's a battery tender. It's a low amperage. It's really just to keep my bike topped off. Once I park my bike in my garage, I plug it in, leave it there, and not a big deal. Now, there's other chargers out there that will allow you to charge things quicker and then top it off and trickle charge it. You can go ahead and do that. There's multiple options, but I just chose this one because I've always had it, okay? And some bikes come with a pigtail that's already plugged into your bike. That way you can plug in your bike to the battery tender. If it doesn't come with one, and I think somebody ran over a skunk over here, it stinks. If it doesn't come with one, you can actually buy a pigtail, and it's a simple attachment to your bike, and then now you can charge up your bike, okay? So it keeps the battery topped off in good condition, and make sure you get one, okay? So if you want to know where to get one, I have a link in the description, and it's a great tender, it's a great battery charger, and that is one that I know for a fact works with my bike, and it's worked with all the bikes that I've had. So how do you maintain your bike? Let's say you have a chain, you gotta clean your chain, you gotta lift your bike up. Let's say you're gonna change your own tire, or you're gonna start installing stuff, or you are about to store. Here's another thing, is you're about to store your bike for a couple months, and you don't want your bike sitting on the tires and causing any type of damage to it. So what you can do is actually get stands. You can get a center stand, rear stand, front stand. You can get all types of stands that will actually lift your bike up off the ground without your tires touching the ground. Therefore, it keeps them nice and fresh. So a rear stand is great for cleaning your chain drive, and it's really good for when you do any type of maintenance or a pre-ride check, or if you're doing a monthly check, whatever it is. That way you can rotate your tire and see if there's any punctures, any damage to the tire. You can check all these different things. It's really awesome. You can also do the same thing with the front stand. There's different types of front stands. There's front stands that will hook into the fork. That way it lifts the tire off and the suspension off the ground. And there's also ones that will just lift up the suspension, so you can't really do much when it comes to suspension, but it makes a huge difference. And then there's also center stands where you lift it underneath the bike. Make sure you get some ratchets. Make sure you get some ratchets so you can tie down your bike. But you can lift it up from the center, and it really achieves the purpose of a rear and front stand, and it's really nice. Also, if you ever change your oil, it's really nice to have a rear stand. That way you can get underneath the bike just a little bit, because the center stand will probably block off what you need to be working on. Who knows? It was kind of an issue for me on my Sportster, and I think it's going to be an issue for me with my exhaust on the FTR, so I got myself some rear stands. When you get rear stands or front stands or anything like that, you're going to probably need to get spools. You're going to have to find out where you can install them, what you can do. There's different types. There's ones that hook up straight up to the swing arm through a bolt. There's another one where you have to actually attach it. So I actually had to attach these things on the swing arm, and then I have 8mm spool adapters on my FTR, so I didn't have to do that for my FTR. Quick little bonus, check out a motorcycle puck. It's super simple, super easy to get. They usually give them away at demo events, so you could probably find them. They're like little advertising pieces. It's a lot like the advertisement on the pens for the motorcycle world. Motorcycle puck, so that's for your side stand. You might want to get one for your side stand, and it's not necessarily, hey, you know, I'm going to get one because the asphalt's hot. I talked about that, where your side stand can actually, you know, get stuck and eat into the asphalt on summer days. Well, what about your garage? I don't want to scrape up my garage floor. I mean, I got a nice little epoxy flooring, but I don't want to scrape it up with a side stand. So what I do is I have a motorcycle puck in the garage, and I just put my bike there, and I put my side stand on it, and I don't have to worry about it scraping. So that's another thing. So you might want to check out those. Like I said, you could probably go to your local dealership when they have like a bike day, like, you know, a bikini wash or whatever it is, you know, a bike night. And you could probably get one for free or get a couple for free. Just that way you can keep one in your backpack, so when you're out traveling and doing your thing and you park in a parking lot, you have a puck so your so your side stand can not fall into the asphalt. There we go. Jeez. But like I said, I keep one at home so I don't scrape up my garage floor. Anyways, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button. And if you want to know more about motorcycle safety, make sure you hit that notification bell button, because that way you'll be notified of all my videos, and you'll be notified of my live streams. Live streams are a lot of fun, and I answer a lot of questions on my live streams, and I talk about motorcycle accidents and stuff. With that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I'll see you later.